Guys, it's time. Y'all, I'm telling you, I've been talking about this for months, and it's finally here. It's like the blackness in me is just awakening right now. So Black Lightning premiered tonight. And I'm just saying, like, first of all, let me just say this. The fact that Black Lightning comes out day after Martin Luther King, okay, and then you have Black Panther coming out next month, Black History Month. I mean, you couldn't ask for like better times to release a TV show and a movie. I just it's amazing. First scene, we have, quotes from Martin Luther King, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just everything. And then some obvious like lessons in, how we are perceived by, a lot of authority. It touches on that by the media, by society. The first scene, one of the first scenes, they're on their way to an event and they get pulled over by the cops, and the police officer, they yank Jefferson out the car. I know I'm jumping into it, but I'm like excited to eat. I'm so excited to get started. They yank him out the car, and it's raining outside, pouring rain. They put him over against the car, and they show him to this lady, and they're like, "Oh, is he the guy?" And she's like, "No." And then they just go about their business like they didn't just pull this guy out of his car for no apparent reason at all, other than the fact that this woman probably said, "Oh yeah, a black man came into my store and robbed our store," like, because that's all the guy said. Oh, they robbed a liquor store, and what other description of the person, and even Jefferson said, oh, he was he black with a suit on driving a Volvo. Like, it's a daggone station wagon, like what. With two young girls in the car, like what. But that's kind of what happens. It happens to a lot of us out there, and I'm glad that it's touching on this. It needs to still be discussed. It always seems to happen that we're only discussing those things when they actually happen, when major events happen, and then they're televised. But I feel like it still needs to be discussed because it's still happening every day. Black people being profiled, being lumped into one. Not every black person is a criminal, obviously. Come on. Just oh, come on, blackness. I'm just feeling it right now. Uh Let me stay on topic. Okay. So they get to this event, and Jennifer, the youngest daughter, she wants to go out. Let me not even mention the fact that Anissa, the very first scene, Anissa is getting bailed out of jail because she was out here protesting and being somebody's Harriet Tubman, which is funny because they call her Harriet. Jennifer wants to go out. Anissa's like, okay, so go ahead and I'll cover you, but you got to be back before Dad gets home, and before Jefferson gets home, and all of that. Obviously, that ends up not happening because then we get the next scenes. So we see Jefferson step up, and he's like making this speech, and he really has the kids in the school motivated. Over to this club. It's called the 100 Club. That's where the 100 gang. That's like the gang in this area. It's kind of where they operate out of, and they have like a lot of, I guess, musical guests there. There was some rapper on there, mumble rapper, doing whatever he was doing, and we see Jennifer, our girl Jennifer, played by China Anne McClain. Y'all know I love her. The fact that she was smoking in the scene, I got my entire life. I was like, yes. And to hear her say bitch and and all of that, I'm just like, yes. I was like, it was like, what, less than a year ago, you were on Descendants on Disney Channel. I mean, come on, girl. It's like moving up in the world. You better get a role that's suited for your age. Anyway. So she up in this club, turning up and stuff. She meets this guy. His name is Will. He's an idiot. Whatever. They're like talking, flirting, whatever they're doing, and then these other guys come and sit down at the table that they're at. And it's just honestly, it's like this thing where they're telling him that he owes like the leader like money or whatever, and they kind of manhandle her and they're taking her with him to the room. She tries to leave and be like, okay, so I'm gonna let you talk to your boys while I'll go to the bathroom or something, just as a way to escape because she knows that something is up. But then they stop her from leaving and they take her to the room with the rest of them. And in the room, we meet this guy. He likes to be called Lala. I'm like, Lala Anthony. Okay, that's who I think about when I hear the name Lala. And but his real name is Octavius. Okay, they're talking all this mess, and then they bring Jennifer. I was like, Jennifer, shut up, shut up, shut up. She keeps on like talking, say, oh, I'm gonna go, or I don't know him, and all this stuff. I don't know him. I love her accent. I love her accent. I don't know him and all this stuff. And Lala's just like, nah, shut up. He's like, no. He's like, you need to be quiet. And then he's like, oh, we should just have her, basically make her like their whore and pimp her out at their sleazy motel, servicing clients. Okay, and she ain't having it. Will comes up to her like, oh, just wait, what did he say? I don't even know what he said. All I know is that he got his ass handed to him when when Jennifer when Jennifer kneed him in the stomach. I was just like done. I was so done. I was like, this girl can fight. I was like, get it. I'm like, get it. Yes. It's good that they can defend themselves. We see Anissa defend herself later on too, against the same guy. And I tweeted out too. I was like, does this guy get tired of like constantly getting his ass handed to him by a bunch of like badass women? Like, what is going on? But hey, I mean, it must have not been difficult to get that job. You literally just had to be a punching bag. Anyway, it's not really that funny. Don't laugh. Jefferson is at this club and he sees her being, taken to the room, and he obviously goes down there to confront, the situation. The guard by the door, pulls a gun on him. He's just like, okay, and then he goes and, does his thing. He shuts the lights off because Black Lightning. This is when he starts using his powers because obviously his daughter's in danger, so he kind of has to. He's been somebody who has like kind of suppressed his abilities up until now because he made a promise to his wife and his family that he would not go and do this hero work anymore, because he would come home and battered and bruised and all this stuff, and Lynn, his ex-wife, really could not take it. So he promised her that he wouldn't do it anymore in order to save the dynamic of his family. But she still left him, so I don't even really get it. I guess we'll find out more about why he, shuts the lights off. Everybody goes crazy, panicking, and then of course the guys who have the guns, the gang members, whatever, they start shooting and stuff. And I was like, okay, so do you guys even know who you're shooting at? Because to me, I don't know. Like there was only one threat in the club. I guess they just were so confused. But you don't just shoot in the dark. Literally, like there is a phrase called "shot in the dark" when you don't know what the hell's going on, and so you just kind of guess. I didn't really understand why they just started shooting out of nowhere. They didn't even know where. Like, it is what it is. Moving right along. Okay, so at this point, during all the confusion, Jennifer is able to escape and get back home. At the same time, Jefferson, he's on his way out, and then this cop car arrives in front of him. And then the cops get out and they flash the tasers at him and try to tase him. Doesn't work, obviously, because his power over electricity allows him to absorb whatever they try to do to him. And then he redirects it towards them, knocks them out, and blows up their car. I was just like, all right, I'm here for it. Listen, people have done way worse. So when Jefferson was in there, like he sustained the wound from, I believe, the taser, like, oh no, from the gunshot that he did take inside the club. So he goes to an old friend of his, Peter Gamby, okay? And he's kind of like a father figure to him. He's known him since he was 12. So he obviously saw his powers develop and everything. He kind of knows his origins and when he started doing the hero work and stuff. So he goes to him because he obviously doesn't want to go to the hospital or anything because then they're gonna try and investigate and try to figure out why he has a gunshot. So he goes there to get it patched up. It was just a flesh wound. It's fine, but they start talking about why he kind of gave it up as Black Lightning 9 years ago. And he literally, it was because he made a promise to, at the time, his wife, Lynn. And also because of like the endless cycles, he says, the more he kind of fought back as Black Lightning, the more things that actually occurred. And he feels like he does a lot more help for the community as a principal, and just helping kids kind of find their way and stuff. And he feels like he saved more lives that way than as Black Lightning. But Gamby does not think so. Gamby thinks he has a way larger effect as a superhero. At this point, like, Gamby does want him to come back because it's been the first time that he's actually activated his powers in several years. So now Gamby's kind of excited, I guess, to see him kind of make a return, but he doesn't want it to happen. He's sending like emails and stuff of people and their testimonies to how Black Lightning saved them and stuff. This convenience store owner, he was getting robbed, and he likes to watch the tape over. He says on his birthday every year he watches the tape over of Black Lightning coming into his store and saving him from being robbed and possibly killed. So, we get to see a little bit of what he's done for the community, kind of what the things that he's been doing as Black Lightning. But then we also see the things that he's done as the principal. So later on, they get to Lynn. Lynn is at the house and she's already given like Jennifer this whole talk thing. She's like, yeah, I was bad parent or whatever for the night. And we get this little scene where they're kind of like flirting, or he's trying to flirt with her. But she did it earlier too, so I'm just like, she was on the other foot because she was like, oh, you look handsome in your suit and whatever. And then all of a sudden now she's like passive. I'm just like, okay, all right, whatever, girl, whatever. You want him back. You want him back. She feeling on his chest and stuff, and I'm just like, come on, get out of here. Just go upstairs to your bedroom and get it on. Anyway, what? They're technically married. Well, they were married. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so we're finally introduced to who I believe is going to be the main antagonist of the story, Tobias Whale. Okay, and we're introduced to him dumping some guy into a tank full of piranhas, okay, and then watching as the piranhas devour his body. I did not know how to feel about that. That was a little bit much, and that's how evil he is. And the fact that he just allowed that to happen, I was just like, okay, so we know exactly who we're dealing with. I mean, I like that they introduced him like that, so we know exactly what he's capable of, and that's probably not even the worst of what he's probably done. I said probably twice in that sentence. That's incorrect. Okay, so we get this scene at the school. I don't know if it's the next day, but it is what it is. That idiot from the club, Will, he's back and he's trying to, talk up to Jen. And this is not having it. She gets out the car. I'm just like, yes, give it to him. Okay. He tries to, grab her and stuff too, and then she grabs him and flips him over. I'm like, oh my god. Like, both of them can fight? Oh yes. I'm gonna love this show. Anyway, so, at this point, Jefferson comes out and stops him from pulling out a gun and stuff, and basically tells him and schools him, like, look, I don't want to bring the cops into this, but if it comes to that, they're going to shoot you down without even taking a second look at it. They're just going to look and see your black skin, and they're going to shoot. And that's just going to be it. He goes back and sees Lala at this place, whatever, and he is talking to him about pretty much this unwritten deal between, you know, him and the 100, basically telling them to, you know, if they keep away from the school and stuff, he won't really, you know, mess with them, and he won't get the cops involved and stuff. Just stay away from the school. Obviously, stay away from his daughters. That's it. But you know, he's not really hearing that at all. He has this boy come out. Well, I don't know if it's his son or something, but he comes out and you know, he chastises him for, I guess, playing video games when he's supposed to be doing his homework, which, you know, is great. But the way that he does it is a little bit too much. And Jefferson sees like it kind of escalating a little bit, and he tries to step in. Lala wasn't having it. He, you know, tries to. I can't take him seriously with the name Lala. I really can't. Will comes back to the school with some goons. They come in the school with some guns and crap, and they go into Jennifer's class that Anissa happens to be teaching. And, you know, they step in there and take both of the sisters to some sleazy hotel and stuff. I don't even know, like, and he wasn't even supposed to do something like that. I like the comment that that Lala made when he was like, you know, basically pistol whipping Will. He's like, you can't. It's like, why would you take those two of all people? Like, their father is pretty much Black Jesus in in the neighborhood. I mean, I suppose I guess so. He goes back to Gamby's house, well, his like shop, and he goes downstairs. Okay, where all this equipment is stuff is set up. I guess that was his base of operations when he used to do the Black Lightning thing. And apparently, all this time, Gamby has been designing a new suit for him. I'm like, really? Okay, so he was expecting for him to make a comeback. Anyway, so he gets up into his new suit, and he goes over to the motel, beats all these guys down and stuff, and finally gets to the room, and saves the girls. I mean, that was pretty much it. You know, the scene itself, that's the like one issue that I had, is that the effects. It's kind of like the issue that a lot of people have with CW superhero shows, because there's a lot. In DC, we have Arrow, we have Flash, we have Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. The ones that stand out the most to me are Flash and Supergirl, mostly because they, you know, they require the kind of effects that you need to show off like actual like superpowers a little bit more. Oh, and Legends as well. So when you're talking about doing stuff with like CGI and stuff, and all of that, the effects, a lot of the time they fall short because it looks a little too animated. Also, the way that he fights, I don't know if like that's the way that he's supposed to fight, because I know like Black Lightning is supposed to be like kind of like a tanky, like built character who like kind of fights with like, you know, extra strength. It's different from like a Black Panther because, you know, he's more nimble and stuff. He's strong, but he's like more nimble, more flexible, and his movements are more fluid. I don't know. He looked a little bit stiff while he was doing his whatever. I guess the way they choreographed it. I don't know. I don't know. But he went in there, beat them down, and oh my gosh, he held oh boy up over his own car and let him fall down to his own car and crush it. I was like, oh. At first I thought he was dead, because the way that he grabbed him with his lightning, like I thought that he was like puncturing, but I guess he didn't really hurt him because, you know, he was still alive. Anyway, so the girls, they get away, and they, you know, they end up back home. Everything is all cool, but of course at the end, Lala is brought to Tobias and shot with a harpoon. That scene was actually kind of weird. Like, he shoots him with like an arrow. Like, it looked like an arrow at first, but then was like really long, and I'm like, that looks like a harpoon. And then of course it had the rope attached to it, and he's like pulling him by the harpoon, by the rope, and I was like, this guy is crazy. This guy is mentally unstable in the worst kind of way, and I know we're gonna see more of it in the next episode and episodes to come. So I feel like he's really threatened by the fact that Black Lightning is still around. You know, he's, you know, basically telling Lala, like, I thought that you said he was dead. You know, I've been going on all this time thinking that he was completely gone, like I had gotten rid of him or whatever, and all of a sudden now he's back. But then, you know, it is what it is. He's probably going to make some decisions on take some really foolish steps on trying to come against him. Now, I'm not really sure if there are any more metas in this show right now. As of right now, everybody's like pretty normal. So, as for, you know, except for his daughters. But right now, I think Black Lightning Jefferson is the only one to me that has powers other than his own kin, you know. But anyway, that was Black Lightning. I was really excited to see it. Like it's been like building up. It did what it was supposed to do. I'm hoping for a little bit more in future episodes because, you know, yeah, Black Lightning is a black superhero, but I don't want that to be everything that he is, if you get what I'm saying. It did touch on a lot of the issues that black people are facing with police brutality and all this other stuff, racial profiling and all of that. The whole notion, something that Roland Martin had said on when he was doing his reporting or whatever. You know, how come, you know, all these white people with powers who put on suits and stuff, they go out and they fight crime and they're heroes. Meanwhile, Black Lightning is like a criminal and a vigilante and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Although Arrow was looked at as just a vigilante, and he still kind of is, Green Arrow, but it is what it is. But that's just to highlight the fact that, you know, usually black people are looked at as less than white people for doing the same exact thing. It's just kind of the way that it's been working for eons. Within our own community and of course in the grand scheme. But that's it for Black Lightning, first episode. Again, I was satisfied, but I still want more. And I need more like development. I know at the end also we get Anissa. Her powers are activating for the first time. We don't know if it's activated before, but she seemed a little shocked that it happened. Her density control, so like her hand, like her body pretty much became more dense, and then she ended up ripping the sink off the wall. That was actually pretty cool. So hopefully we get to see more of her in the future. Anyway, that's gonna be it. I said that about 3 times. I hope everybody has a great night. Take care.